Okay, here we are.
We are.
This is Kim,
This is Andy.
and we're going to read to you from the Urantia book,
But first,
365 Days Walking the Red Road by Terry Jean.
today we hear from Chased by Bears, a Santee Yanktonai Sioux. A child believes that only the action of someone who is unfriendly can cause pain. A child believes that only the action of someone who is unfriendly can cause pain.
Right, right. So that's only my enemies who are going to hurt me. But as you grow, you realize that you're hurt by the ones that you love
Mm-hmm.
the most. And yep, isn't that true?
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Did you know that traditional Hopi have a specific process for naming their children? The first 20 days following birth, mother and child stay in an isolated room, hidden from the sun. After the 20 days, the child is presented to the sun to be blessed and is given several names. One name is the childhood name. Other names will be decided later as the child grows, changes, and evolves.
See, I like that. I like that because
I've just had one name my whole
I know, I know, me too. And I had a hard time like fitting in with my name too. A long time I didn't like my name, but it's okay. I neither like it or dislike it. I guess I own it today right now. It's like not,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. But most people like, if you like the sound of your name, that's a sign of good self esteem,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I think so.
Mhm.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's,
Okay.
there's the other
So,
book.
oh, where's the other one? It's buried under here. There it is. Okay, now we're on to The Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, of course, translation by Derek Lin this time. We're on chapter 3. Okay?
Do not glorify the achievers, so the people will not squabble. Do not treasure goods that are hard to obtain, so the people will not become thieves. Do not show the desired things, so their hearts will not be confused.
Okay. And I'll read this part. Right. Okay. Okay, when we glorify achievers and set them aside for special treatment, people will compete aggressively and step over one another to achieve that glory. That makes sense, right?
Mhm.
That's why it's so important to be humble. Like
Mhm.
when you achieve your goal, okay, set it down. Okay, whatever accolades come, if then sometimes none come. Sometimes you've made the most, stupendous achievement or the created the greatest art, and a lot of these artists and writers are dead before they get any recognition because they're ahead of their time.
Mhm.
But then 100 years later, people are going like, oh my gosh, that was so awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so whatever it is, and some people are praised for the most stupid, you know crap,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And they get all this love and adoration because they said something really angry that a lot of people were afraid to say or something like that.
Mhm.
Now that's not, but so discount that the reaction to whatever your achievement is. Yeah,
Mhm. Right.
right?
Mhm.
It doesn't, and you yourself, when you're achieving this goal, you don't know the long-term value of it. You really don't.
Right.
You don't. How can you have this awareness of that, because you can't really set it aside. But we'll know these things,
Mhm.
um, when we cross the veil and know these things in heaven, as they'll take us and to look back on our lives,
Mhm.
and know what we've done and what we've failed to do. Okay, so right, but that's so important. Okay, similarly, when we place a high value on certain goods, there will be those who plot to take them by force or trickery. Right, so theft. So if you want to discount theft, then don't put a high value on certain things. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. This determination of value can be rather arbitrary. Absolutely. For instance, what intrinsic goodness does gold have that makes it so much more valuable than other metals?
Mhm.
What's so great about gold? Really? I don't know.
Ready?
Looks good when it's on your tooth. Does it? I don't think so. I don't. Do
I
you think
know.
so? I don't. I wouldn't. Some people do that. I
Mhm.
don't know. But right, it's not that. Yeah. Okay. It's just yellow. It's yellow. That makes it a little different. Okay. What is so great about gold, other than particular numerical value that people determine and agree upon? In general, whenever we point to anything as desirable, a wave of disruption ripples through society. People begin to think of ways to get more of the desirable thing, often at the expense of others. Okay. Because of this, a sagacious ruler refrains from setting aside certain individuals for glorification or designating certain goods as extremely valuable and putting them on display. We don't need to do that. Okay.
Mhm.
Somebody gave me a gift. Okay, that's mine. I don't need to tell everybody, well, so and so gave me this, and it's great. You want to come over and see my collection of, paintings by Rembrandt or whatever, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, why do you need to do that? Yeah,
Yeah, you should have them because you like to.
because you like them.
Mhm.
Okay, or you identify with something with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's much better. See this? Yeah, and so much money chases these vain pursuits that don't do any good for public.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Where am I? Yeah. Don't put them on display. These are surefire ways of stimulating materialistic desire, which is a bottomless pit.
Mhm.
Don't stimulate that. Okay. So go ahead.
This is
Thus,
thus the
governance.
governance of the sage empties their hearts, fills their bellies, weakens their ambitions, strengthens their bones.
Yes. Although the sages empty people's hearts of desires and reduce their ambitions for fame, glory, or material wealth, they also pay particular attention to their basic needs. Huh?
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
As rulers, the sages see to it that the people enjoy good health and do not go hungry. As teachers, the sages give people teachings that provide spiritual sustenance and promote spiritual health.
But the people have no cunning and no greed, so those who scheme will not dare to meddle. Act without contrivance, and nothing will be beyond control.
Right. When people follow the way of the sages, the few who scheme and plot will find themselves unable to utilize their repertoire of clever ploys. Yep,
Mhm.
the governance of the sages leaves no room for their contrived tactics, and everything falls into place peacefully and naturally.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's good advice for leaders. You know,
Mhm.
tend to what the people need and don't stimulate their desires,
Right.
right? Help them be content and just fortify you know, their spiritual resilience and yeah.
So they can have time and interest to read the Urantia book,
Yeah. Yeah.
specifically paper 43,
Paper 43.
section 4.
Okay, Mount Assembly, the faithful of days. Okay, the most holy Mount of Assembly is the dwelling place of the faithful of days. Okay, we've heard about like faithfuls of days. Okay, but there's many of these, but I think probably like one of them serves in Edentia
Mhm.
on this Mount of Assembly, right?
Mhm.
So this is the dwelling place of the faithful of days, the representative of the Paradise Trinity who functions in Edentia. This faithful of days is a Trinity Son of Paradise and has been present on Edentia as the personal representative of Emmanuel. Oh, that's Emmanuel. I knew that.
Representative of Emmanuel.
No, yeah. Faithful Days is a Trinity Son, has been present on Adentia as a personal representative of Emmanuel since the creation of the headquarters world. Because I know that it's Emmanuel that came through Jesus. I think that or Emmanuel chose to stay with Jesus or something like that. I think so. I forgot. Okay. Ever the faithful of days stands at the right hand of the constellation fathers to counsel them, because he's actually a higher being. He's a divine being, right?
Right.
But never does he prefer advice unless it is asked for. The high sons of paradise never participate in the conduct of the affairs of a local universe except upon the petition of the acting rulers of such domains. But all that a union of days is to a creator son, a faithful of days is to the most highs of a constellation. Okay, so the union of days is Emmanuel. I'm sorry. Okay, what Emmanuel is what? The creator of days or the union of days? I think he's the union of days. Emmanuel. Unions of days. He's a union of days. He's counseled Michael on how to allow rebellion to self-obliterate. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. So, because if we don't put any energy into the rebellion, it's going to self-obliterate. Okay. Okay. So that's okay. So the high sons of paradise never participate in the conduct of the affairs of a local universe except upon the petition of the acting rulers of such domains. But all that a union of days is to a creator son, a faithful of days is to the most highest of constellation. Okay, you go right there.
The residence of the Adentia faithful of days is the constellation center of the paradise system of extra-universe communication and intelligence. These Trinity sons, with their staffs of Havona and Paradise personalities, in liaison with the supervising union of days, are in direct and constant communication with their order throughout all the universes, even to Havona and Paradise. The most holy mount is exquisitely beautiful and marvelously appointed, but the actual residence of the Paradise Son is modest in comparison with the central abode of the Most Highs and the surrounding 70 structures comprising the residential unit of the Varandadak Sons. These appointments are exclusively residential. They are entirely separate from the extensive administrative headquarters buildings wherein the affairs of the constellation are transacted.
Okay.
The residence of the faithful of days on Adentia is located to the north of these residences of the Most Highs and is known as the Mount of Paradise Assembly. On these consecrated highlands, the ascending mortals periodically assemble to hear the Son of Paradise tell of the long and intriguing journey of progressing mortals through the 1 billion perfection worlds of Havona and onto the indescribable delights of paradise. And it is at these special gatherings on Mount Assembly that the Urantia mortals become more fully acquainted with the various groups of personalities of origin in the central universe. The traitorous Lucifer, one-time sovereign of Satania, in announcing his claims to increased jurisdiction, sought to displace all superior orders of sonship in the governmental plan of the local universe. He purposed in his heart, saying, I will exalt my throne above the sons of God. I will sit upon the Mount of Assembly in the north. I will be like the Most High.
What a jerk.
The 100 system sovereigns come periodically to the Adentia on conclaves, which deliberate on the welfare of the constellation. After the Satania rebellion, the arch rebels of Jerusalem were wont to come up to these Adentia councils, just as they had on former occasions. And there was found no way to stop this arrogant effrontery until after the bestowal of Michael on Urantia and his subsequent assumption of unlimited sovereignty throughout all of Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
Never since that day have the instigators of sin been permitted to sit in the Adentia councils of the loyal system sovereigns.
Aha. Okay.
That
So
the,
Michael came and, cleaned house, right?
that the teachers of olden times knew of these things as shown by the record. And there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Most Highs, and Satan came also and presented himself among them. And this is a statement of fact, regardless of the connection in which it chances to appear. Since the triumph of Christ, all Norleshadek is being cleansed of sin and rebels. Some time before Michael's death in the flesh, the fallen Lucifer associate, Satan, sought to attend such an Adentia conclave, but the solidification of sentiment against the arch-rebels had reached the point where the doors of the sympathy were so well nigh universally closed that there could be found no standing ground for the Satania adversaries.
So this is so interesting to me because it's like the January 6th thing. It's like these people are coming and they're rebelling against the government. They're trying to tear down the government, but they say that they have a right to be there, even though they're there to destroy it.
When there exists no open door for the reception of evil, there exists no opportunity for the entertainment of sin. The doors of the hearts of all Adentia closed against Satan. He was unanimously rejected by the assembled system sovereigns, and it was at this time that the Son of Man beheld Satan fall as lightning from heaven. Since the Lucifer rebellion, a new structure has been provided near the residence of the faithful of days. This temporary edifice is the headquarters of the Most High Liaison, who functions in close touch with the Paradise Sun as advisor to the constellation government in all matters respecting the policy and attitude of the order of days towards sin and rebellion. Wow.
Is that interesting?
Yeah.
So they have like this, and they have laws up there, and they're vulnerable sometimes. I mean, it's but because they had to allow like the Lucifer rebels to come in and take part and distract and demean the legitimate policy discourse there until Michael came with his mission here to finally take control of everything, but they're faithful on a level that this is going to be set right, and they're patient. You know what I mean? So
and we're not alone as we fight against rebellion and sin here on the Urantia. That same fight has already been fought
and is being and on what
sustained.
this is just our world. On other worlds that have been touched by rebellion, this probably goes on too. So you're not, I mean, just because you're not escaping this until you get actually to Havona.
So the constellation government is standing against that rebellion and sin that is so troubling on Urantia.
As in on heaven, so on earth.
As above, so below.
As above, so below. So that's really fascinating. I mean, yeah, I imagine them. They're little angelic politicians flying to work because my home is in the north and the offices are like over far away. So dash off to work with my little ethereal briefcase and my policy enactments or whatever, and then I'm confronted by these awful rebels who just want to destroy this whole process just because they're crazy.
Maybe one day we'll be an aide there.
Would you like that? Or you could be the bailiff. You could say, all right, I'm gonna take this MFer to jail. I'm the bailiff. Okay, guys, I'm here to I can muscle these dudes. Whenever you tell me, I'm right here. I'm ready to muscle them. Would that be Andy? Would that be you? Would you like that?
Be the sheriff.
You'd be the chef. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Wow.
Well, that's Urantia today.
All right. So, you guys have a really great week. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
We'll see you again soon. Okay.
Bye now.
Bye. Where's the thingy? There it is.